Welcome to the CivilNet Podcast. I'm your host, Angela Hassasian, and joining me today is Christopher Dedeyan, Canadian-Armenian peak performance coach, professional speaker, and co-author of the book Play for Profit: The Correlation Between Sports and Business. After overcoming childhood dyslexia and ADHD, Chris was able to basically create or build multiple successful careers, and now he is trying to help others to achieve their peak performance through the lessons that he's learned through athletics. So welcome, Chris. Thank you for
Merci. Thank you for having me.
So your book, Play for Profit, it makes a connection between sports and business.
Yes.
What is the connection?
Okay. Honestly, the connection is a lot more predominant than people think. And a lot of people don't understand how it hits subconsciously. But once you understand the conscious biases of that, then you're able to utilize it for your advantage. As simple as, let's start with when you're in sports or working out, you always analyze what's happening. There's a lot of math involved. Let's say you're playing soccer, right? Or football, the proper way to say it. When you're moving around, you're angling how to kick the ball, at what speed, what angle for the other person to go. You're analyzing your competitors and everyone around you. All this is happening in split seconds. And then once you become more aware of that, that same analytic approach, you could put it in the business world. So one example, you're sitting down. Let's say we're going to do this interview. Right off the bat, you met me, you're like, all right, cool. You're going to look at me. You have a subconscious bias in the first 2 seconds by looking at me, how I'm dressed, how I'm speaking, X, Y, and Z. Now, granted, I know that you're very well versed and you're good at what you do, so you probably already studied me, but there's still a lot of biases that come about from the first second. If I understand that, then I move it accordingly. Now, in the same situation, if I'm negotiating with someone, you're able to utilize those. Those are small examples, and we'll be able to go more in depth, but these are some of the things that it's good to know, and you could utilize it for your advantage to succeed.
So when it comes to despite dyslexia, you describe yourself as a voracious reader. And that was one of the things that I saw in your book, right?
Oh, a discrepancy there, right? Wait, let's start off with this. For people don't know, dyslexia is a learning disability that has to do with reading and writing. Essentially, I am neurodiverse. My brain associates things differently. So for me, reading, it takes 5 times more effort than a non-neurodiverse brain, let's call it like that.
Right. And you talked about how initially you had a dream to become a lawyer, but then that kind of was like, oh, too much reading, too much writing, too much of that. And it kind of deterred you from that path.
Yes.
Would you say that over time you learned how to change that, turn that limitation into motivation maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how that happened.
It's a journey. It's a real journey. And like you said, because in the education system that we're giving, especially in North America and many parts of the world, they ask us at a very young age this existential question of, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? We're like 18 years old. What are you asking us these questions? And it's supposed to be good. Now, some people might be like, oh yeah, I want to be a doctor, and that was their dream, and they do it for the rest of their life, or I want to be this, want to be that, whatever. But for a lot of these kids, me included, we don't know. I just went on the aspect of, like, honestly, even back then, I'm like, I like wearing suits and I like talking. Let's be a lawyer. So then, as you mentioned, as I looked into it, I'm like, nah, there's way too much reading. I don't like reading. So let me find an industry that has no reading at all or very limited. So I found fireman. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. The fire trucks, the boys, the adrenaline. Actually, I don't know if you're noticing, I'm already like, I have a lot of energy. So I'm like, yeah, fireman, that makes sense. We're going to burn some energy. We're going to have some fun. And then as through that process went down, I realized that God didn't put me on this planet to do that. And through that process, I noticed that I was actually, every single decision in my life was dictated by fear. And I had no idea back in the day. So the first time I got diagnosed with dyslexia, my parents came and told me at 8 years old in the middle of the school year, hey, you have dyslexia, I'm going to take you out of your school and put you in a specialized school. At 8 years old, all I hear is that I'm a special kid, I'm going to a specialized school, and I'm going to lose my friends. I didn't understand what dyslexia was. I was afraid of it, and I was frustrated by it. Then I go into the school, and I realized that there's hundreds of kids like me. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, this is a bit better. And then I started graduating and succeeding because now I have the proper methodologies and teachers and techniques to succeed with dyslexia. Then in the real world, the first thing was I was shy of it. I did not want people to know that I had dyslexia, because I'm like, I didn't want them to think I was inferior, I wasn't good enough, or I can't do the work. And when it switched for me is when I gave that first ever speech in 2017 that I got invited to talk about how I'm succeeding as a dyslexic entrepreneur in the real estate world. And everything changed there. And then a couple of years later, I gave another speech talking about this and talking about how you went into becoming a fireman. And some lady came to me afterwards and she's like, Chris, do you know it's crazy that you were so afraid of reading that you ran into a fire building? And it stunned me. And you're laughing and it stunned me. And then started thinking, I'm like, man, my fear was so strong that I'd rather run into a literal building that's on fire. So then when I noticed that, I'm like, imagine how many people have these negative biases that control them. And then from there, I realized, all right, every single decision I'd taken to that point, fear dictated my life. But you know what's crazy? Every single decision still to this point is dictated by fear. Here's why.
Okay.
If I am not afraid, I am not pushing myself out of my comfort zone. As I alluded to before we started recording, I just officially announced that I'm moving to Armenia.
Right.
And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not afraid. I'm terrified. But at the same time, I'm so at peace because I know this is God's grace and I'm walking through his desire. But if I wouldn't be afraid, I would know like, oh, okay, this is not something I should do. So that's kind of the process. I gave you a long little story there, but that's the process of my relationship with that reality for me.
Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, that would be, I guess you're trying to go against stagnation. Is that what it is?
Yes. Stagnation is the same thing as decay. If you're not expanding, you're decaying, which means you're dying. Now, you could be stagnant for a little while, but if you're analyzing what's happening, that's great. But if you stay at the same level and you don't continue to educate yourself, you're going to not succeed. As you mentioned, the reason why I read so much and I consume information is because I always want to grow. I always want to push myself. And every single thing that I do, I have to be able to look at it like, hey, is this challenging me enough? Now, I'm blessed to have done thousands of stages in front of thousands and thousands of people, and I'm really good at it. But I still have to have that thing. I'm like, okay, is there something that's challenging me on this stage? And if it's not a stage that's challenging me, then I'm like, okay, what can I do to make it challenging? Can I work on this part? Can I add this new part? Can I challenge myself to talk about a topic that I'm not usually able to talk about? X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of like gamifying this approach. And then as your comfort zone grows, you become such a strong individual in so many regards.
Nice. Inside the book, you're advocating for movement.
Yes.
But like real movement,
not
like mini movement.
What's a mini movement for you? Wait.
Okay, so this is my question.
Go for it.
We know, I mean, we know that exercise, sleeping, good nutrition, things like that, they're all great for. Is there like a magic, like what's the bare minimum of movement you should get in a day in order to actually see benefits? Okay,
great question. We're so lucky in Armenia and these types of countries, let's say the European style countries, that walking is so predominant. So have you ever heard of the blue zones? Like the places in the world that in average people live like 100+ years. There's some places, there's some villages in Italy, in Greece. There's a specific place in California. Anyways, there's this book called The Blue Zone. And what they realize that these people that live 100, 120 years and all that stuff is because they walk everywhere. They walk up hills, and the food they eat is real food. It's from ground, from earth to table. There's no GMO, there's no added things, there's no processed food. So once you understand that in itself, this is how God had created us to live.
Right.
So the minimum movement is literally walk. And here's why. The 3 most important body parts in your body for you to survive, 2 of them are organs and 1 of them is a body part. So the 2 first ones people will guess quite easily. First one is your heart, right? The second one would be your lungs. And the third one, a body part, is actually your thighs.
Okay.
If your thighs are small and not strong enough, you will die very fast. Now, here's why. Wait, you were in Armenia during COVID?
Yes, I was.
Well, God bless you. You were lucky. I was unfortunately in Canada.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, exactly. So you know the stories. We were in lockdown like crazy. And what did we notice? And a lot of parts of the world were in lockdown in a very intense way, and we noticed that we're human beings and human beings need to connect with each other. And if we don't have that connection, we actually go crazy, we die. That's why when they want prisoners to, you know, be punished, they put them in an isolated state. Isolation will kill you, literally will. Your brain will play tricks on you, in which I could explain in so many regards, but anyways, let's keep on this route over here. So if you're not able to walk to get to see other people, you will start decaying even more. and your thighs are one of the most important parts of your body to be able to walk. So these 3 body parts are the most important. So now these blue zones, as these grandmas, people are walking up and down and eating good food, they're succeeding. So the minimal thing we're talking about workout is to walk. Now I could give you so many different regards and go more in depth with it.
20 minutes a day, 15 minutes in 1
hour.
Exactly.
4 minutes a day. Let's not go crazy.
Really?
I would say if you have 4 minutes in your day, you're going to succeed and you're going to be able to do a good workout. If anybody right now is watching this and telling me that you don't have 4 minutes in your day, you do not have a life. That's it. That's all. So that's not a thing. And I'll tell you, in those 4 minutes, do something called a Tabata workout, which is a 20-minute of workout, 10 seconds off. Once again, 20 seconds workout, 10 seconds off, and you repeat that for 4 minutes. If you push hard, I'm telling you, you're going to breathe heavy, and that's all you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about things like you end up having injuries, you end up having tragedy strikes in your life, and you end up losing motivation?
Yes.
How do you get over those hurdles?
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Are those things that might happen, or are those things that are inevitable? Inevitable. Do you like movies? Sure. I'm not too sure. Okay. Sure. So I love movies because I'm a storyteller. Okay. Like I love speaking, storytelling. We love video. My colleague, we're storytellers. And if you watch a movie, and let's say I present to you the protagonist, this is the person, and it's going great. And then 15 minutes later, oh my God, it's going great. And then 30 minutes later, it's going great. An hour later, it's going great. And the end of the movie, it's going great. Is that a movie you would like?
You need to see challenge.
You need to see challenge. Challenge is a part of life. So when we're talking about these things, it's actually what's making you alive. So once, first of all, you change that framework, that mindset of like, oh, a challenge is not here to bring me down. It's actually here to make me stronger. So when those kind of things come about, now we could just look at it as a positive thing of like, all right, cool, there's this challenge. So now what can I do to associate, to succeed with those challenges? Now, to go more in depth with your question of like, what do you do when those challenges arise, the injuries, the this, the that? Once you see it like that, then it's like, all right, it's a part of the process. I work out pretty much every single day, and injuries is throughout our working out process. It's a part of it. So now once it happens, you're not like, oh my God, it's the end, I'm going to stop. No, it's like, what can I do despite this injury? So if my leg is injured, all right, cool. Can I do something with my arms? My arms are injured, can I do something with my legs? If they're both this, okay, cool. Can I just do sitting down and meditating? There's other forms of it, but you still have to keep that mindset of just showing up. Athletes that get injured, let's say Olympians, they still work out, but they sit down and work out in their mind. So they go to the gym, but they sit down and they just visualize. And there's many studies that shown that once they visualize them doing the movement, their body part is actually having the same neurons getting fired up, because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and fiction.
Wow.
And that's how it kind of develops there.
In the book, in I think it was chapter 3.
Okay, wait, you read the book?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go. Congrats on you. Dang, I'm like, you're going in depth. Okay, let's go. Awesome to that.
So you were talking about the difference between team sports and individual sports at some point. And the different benefits, I guess, or the mindsets that kind of correlate with those types of sports. Armenians are notorious.
I was going to say that. I'm so glad you're going there. Keep on going.
For being super successful at individual sports, right? But maybe less successful when it comes to
that
team
would be an
sports.
understatement,
Right.
but yes.
Okay. What does that say about Armenians in the business realm?
Oh my God. Dang, girl, that was a good question. That was a real good question. So, okay. That is exactly the reason why this book and this ideology is important. Because if you're able to see there's a discrepancy in the sport world within our community, it's going to speak loudly in the business world. Because now we're able to see the advantage when you're by yourself, but then you're not able to understand the team around it. So I would actually just start with those people that are individual sports. So we have great Roman Greek wrestlers, UFC fighters, weightlifters. Yeah, we do a lot of weightlifting, all of those, right? But we have to change our mindset to understand, yes, you're the one that's performing on stage, but the reality is there's a team around you. Now, they know that, but do they know that that is the reason why you're on stage and you're succeeding? If you're there doing a lift, let's say you're doing an Olympic lift, a clean and jerk, and that clean and jerk is literally going to take you less than 10 seconds to do the move, and you practice for 4 years to get to that moment and even decades before then, but it's all of the people that were there supporting you. You're just there to bring that last little baton over the line. So once we change the mindset to the athletes that are doing the individual sports, understand this is a team sport, and your nutritionists, your parents that are supporting you mentally, emotionally, or whatever, your trainer, your physio is as important, then we're able to translate that into the team sport. And then once we're able to understand that a team sport, that listen, imagine you're playing football, soccer, once again for our North American friends here, everyone has their role. If you're a winger, stay on your wing. Don't run all the way back on defense. You have to trust your teammates. And then it's not about, hey, you did it wrong, I did it wrong. No, it's you did your job. If he failed, it's the team failure. So once the mindset changes, then we're able from there to associate that in the business world. So because we understand that there might be some discrepancy here within our culture, then I would go into the history aspect and say, why are we like this? We have to study about, okay, we are from the Soviet times, the Soviet ideology. What is that Soviet ideology? Why is it that we're thinking like this? Now it's changing a lot with the North American ideology because of access to media. So now it's how do we marriage these two things to succeed? So then once you're able to spot that, then you as a leader, let's say a business leader, you're able to spot who are the right fits for your team. Because if you have the wrong person in your team, you're going to fail. And then you're able to spot it. So that's kind of the way to go about it, spot it. But if you want to change the trajectory of our culture and that end, it has to start actually in the individual sports and make them understand actually it's a team sport, transition that to the team sports, and then you'll be able to leverage that in the business world with everything in between.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you already mentioned you're not just here for a book launch, you're here to stay.
Yeah.
What are your plans from here on out?
Oh, dang. How much time do you have? Honestly, I'm very meticulous. I don't know if it shows. Okay. The reason why I'm saying this is I plan things in advance. I know where we're going with this, but at the same time, I know that I make plans and God laughs. But I'm still going to plan and structure it. So this decision wasn't taken lightly, and it wasn't taken by myself. Like, this was a family decision because I'm leaving, hurts my heart to say, but I'm leaving my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece and nephew, and my friends and whatever I've built throughout my whole life in Canada and North America. But I know that there's something calling me here. And I wouldn't do it if I truly didn't know this is what God wants me to do. I'm very God-fearing. Now, what are my plans? Is minimally just be here and give back to the country. Now, giving back to the country is not like, hey, I'm here, I'm the savior. No, who am I? For me, it's as minimal as like, I'm here. I could just buy my coffees here. I could buy my groceries here. I'm paying rent here. Already, I'm doing a small part in the GDP of the country. Just baseline for me, I'm already winning in the way that I think because I'm a nationalist. I'm a proud Armenian and I want to bring the country forward. Second of all, I know that I'm in a very specific career and I'm blessed that I am in this career and God has graced me with this and I work very hard to be in this position. So I know that us just having these conversations, there's going to be a young Armenian kid listening to this and be like, oh, wait a minute, there's possibilities to think like this. Oh, there's ways you can do that. Oh, it's actually possible to be a speaker and travel the world and get paid to do that, which I still find is crazy. They're going to see, oh, this guy looks like me. They're going to see those possibilities. So just by me being here, of doing that, they're going to see that. They're going to see, oh, it's possible to succeed in business and be in shape. Oh, it's possible to raise a family while doing that, which that's coming with God's grace. But anyways, all these things is what I want to put towards. Now, are there plans? Are there businesses already in the works? Are there this, that, and the other? Yes. Lowest hanging fruit is this book in itself. So we got it translated with Newmac Publishing, which is our publisher over here. Love them. They do such great work. So they translated our book in Armenian. No way in heck I ever thought this was a possibility. When we started this book, me and my co-author, Mathieu Duburik, who is a top 10 CrossFit coach worldwide, amazing in his thing. And the reason why we started collaborating is because he's an amazing athlete. And I'm a business person. But once per day, we always met up at the gym, which was his gym, and we were working out. So we had that common 1 hour per day. And then when we started thinking and looking at this, we're like, oh, wow. You're an athlete that's good at business. I'm a great business person that's good at athleticism. Why is that? We saw that there was that marriage. So then as we started doing that and we wrote the book, we thought it was going to take us 6 months. It took us 5 years to write that book.
Wow.
Yeah, we were doing it part-time. Obviously, we're busy people. I have several businesses and all that stuff. But after we launched it last year in August yes, August 2024. Then I came to Armenia for 3 months because I was analyzing, hey, am I going to live here and all that stuff, which we could talk about a bit more. I had the chance to meet NewMag, and then they were interested in me, and I was seeing that, hey, these people are great as well. Like, we want to translate your book. Never I thought that was possible. So once again, what did I say? My second thing is I want to change ideology. So if I'm writing a book that's written in our motherland of Armenian, and one kid, just one, reads it and changes something in one way, shape, or form, I have been a small part in that person's success. And once again, I'm speaking like this. It has nothing to do with Christopher Dedeyan. That's a given name. God is working through me to give that message to someone else, just like many people has given their message to me. So that's the lowest hanging fruit. And that's why we're so blessed that we're actually doing a 6-day tour in all of Armenia, 5 different cities. We're meeting amazing people like you. Yesterday, we're at the 7th Startup Summit. We gave a keynote, gave a great interview as well on the Armenian TV show, Paddy Lewis, and it's kind of what I'm doing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, 5-year endeavor finally in fruition, and you end up seeing the results of that, and that's amazing. And I wish you the best of luck moving forward in your new life in Armenia.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So thank you. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for this conversation. I'm sure we could go on forever and ever.
Oh, man. And how long you want, we could definitely go on. I mentioned that.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time and sharing your story. And thank you for watching CivilNet.